So this is Baruch Fleischman. I'm back here at the Tikkun Elevator Kollel, and we're looking at HAIM BEINART's tremendous anthology here, which is really the maps of the survival of the Jews in lands of people who hate us. Now, I was just thinking, in perspective, you see where the Jews, after the destruction of the temple and the scattering of the Jews over a course of about 200 years, where did we go? Well, basically, we went in the Mediterranean areas. Not to say that there weren't Jews that lived in other far-flung places like Iran or today, at that time, Persia. But basically we went to the northern part of the Mediterranean, which was dominated by Rome, which the Jews, have the tradition that who Esav is our brother, actually physical brother, who hates us because of who we are. And I guess because of who he is. And also of our other brother. We have a half-brother, Yishmael, the Arabs. So we got scattered to our family. It's a family fight. But it's a family fight to the death, as we see, unfortunately, what happened starting in 1939, or maybe even before that in Germany, and what the church really at the root of all of this, and again, going backwards in time, to the kingdom of Edom, which was firmly set against the Jewish people. Let's come over here and take a look at this map. I don't know if we got, I guess we got most of it in here. And we'll go through the boxes and try to get an idea of the sequence as we see it in place. So just to orient ourselves here, this white area is water. That's the Mediterranean Sea. And this over here, down here at the bottom, that's Kairouan, which is I don't know if we can see that here. Kairouan. Okay, this was a big trading center. We talked about the Rodonite merchants the last time. The Rodonites went all over the world, the known world, had trading networks. And that's one of the things that allowed us to prosper in difficult straits. So this is Africa right here. This says, and this particular color goes along with this color because the Africans, that is from Tunis, there were pirates. Remember, the pirates from the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli. That's Libya. Same group of people. He says Tunis directly to Palermo. We'll get into all of that. So this is Sicily. Then right up above Sicily is another little kingdom which is called Calabria. But this area in blue is all controlled now by Byzantium, which is the Eastern Roman Empire, which is firmly established in anti-Semitic attitudes. We have Apulia going up. So this, all different areas they were kind of, I guess, made Italy the way that it's structured. It has some natural bounding. Then we go to the states of the church. You have Spoleto and Tuscany and Romagna, all of these areas. If the church had great influence there, it was difficult for Jews. But there were places where they didn't. And here we have Modena, Genoa. He said Verona, Mantua, which we call in the Kabbalist, we calls it as Mantoba. All of these different towns in the northern part of Italy are places where it was possible for Jews to prosper. So let's see what happens a little bit more. Going north then, this is all controlled physically by the state of the Holy Roman Empire. Now, exactly how these different alignments took place, because obviously the people, the Romans that lived in the Italian peninsula did not speak the same language as the people who lived in Lyon and Vienne, like this, and Marseille. That's French. So here we have, and then moving further east, you find the Germans, and then outside of that area, the Holy Roman Empire at this time was the Kingdom of Hungary, which is not listed as part of the struggle between the Eastern Roman Empire, Byzantium, and the Holy Roman Empire, which is in Western Europe. Now, so let's find our number one. It's just not always easy for me I lose them. Now, number one, I think maybe we could get it a little bit closer, maybe even. Let's see. Number one, he has the year 850. In the year 850, the church over here in this place called Po, right? That's the Po River. It's called Pavia, I'm sorry. The Po River is an important river that runs through northern Italy. He says, Church Council forbids Jews to serve as tax collectors or arbiters or arbitrators, I guess, is it between Jews and Christians. So in some way, arbitrators, in other words, they had no power. If a Christian made an accusation against a Jew, good luck. So over here he says number 2. In the year 855, we have evidence, and he points over here to Milano. Louis II, apparently, I guess it was I don't know if it was the Pope, I don't know if it was the king, but he says, orders expulsion of Jews from northern Italy. The decree apparently never was implemented. So once again, it was sort of like a decree. The church pushed that. They didn't want any Jews around, but it never got implemented because, as we see and we understand, the Jews were very important to some of these kings, etc. Number 3, Bishop Rotharius of Verona, and here he shows you Verona down here in the northern part of the Italian peninsula, complains of excessively tolerant attitudes towards Jews. Let's find number 4, because that was number 3. Number 4 must be down, where is it? I'm looking. Here is 4. Now, let's look over here and let's understand. This is water, right? This is the Adriatic. I think it's called the Adriatic. I forget. Sea. He says, on the one side, you have the Holy Roman Empire. On the other side of the sea, and even stretching into some of the area of the Holy Roman Empire, is Byzantium. That's how powerful this is. Number 4 says, Shephatiah, head of the Jewish community in Oria, and let's see what we see if he shows where Oria is. I'm not sure I can find it. Cures daughter of Emperor Basil I, and consequently obtains cancellation of an edict of conversion issued by the emperor. So if you're out there and you're thinking, well, maybe you were Jewish, the Jewish thing, it runs through all humanity. Because look what happens here. Is that they forced, often, many people to convert to Christianity, and, that's how how the religion has to struggle. Let's find number 5. Number 5 is, let's see, here's 5. He says, Shephatiah acts as intermediary between Byzantine governor and conquering Arab general. Okay? So we just had the Shephatiah before. He's apparently a very important person. Number 6, down here. He says, peace treaty. Things are moving. It's a complicated little peninsula here. Peace treaty signed, bringing Sicily under Muslim control. Here they are, the Muslims from around here. But battle for southern Italy continues. So now let's see if we can find number 7. It's right over here. Let's see if we can get it zoomed in a little bit better here. He says, Hasidiah and 9 rabbis are killed by the Arabs because of their loyalty to Byzantium. And this presents the problem. You're making money, trying to support your family, trying to do everything you can, and you're dealing with the Byzantines. You have some business going over there. And in comes the Arabs. So you see, they went and they took down the biggest pieces of the Jewish community who had relationships with the Byzantines. That's not talking about the Byzantines, I guess. It's not to say that the Byzantines love Jews. Number 8, he says, and this is going right over here to this place of Reggio in Calabria. I don't know, let's see. Physician and philosopher Shabbatai Donolo, he was born in Uria in 913, exiled in his youth, 925, to Palermo. Where is Palermo? Right there. And he says, and Africa, transformed by relatives in Taranto, which I'm not sure, I'm not sure where that is, Toronto, rather. He says, he says, he was exiled to all these places in Africa, ransomed by relatives in Toronto. He says, eventually became court physician in Byzantine governor of Calabria. So here is, again, the Byzantines are in this the boot section of Italy. Let's go to number 9. Number 9 says, Paltia ben Hasadiah backs Imam al-Muz and prophesies that he will conquer southern Italy. So we have in the year 950. The imam takes him to his court at Kairouan. You're down here, which is in the bottom. It could be in Libya today, or it could be in Tunis, I'm not sure, in Tunisia. The imam takes him to his court at Kairouan. In the year 969, Al-Muizz appoints Paltiel minister at the caliphate in Cairo. So the Muslims didn't really have a problem overtly with the Jews using them and taking advantage of our knowledge. So now let's go to the last one. I think is number 10. I'm going to look around and see if there's another one out here. I think this is the last one, and here we're going to look at number 10. Let's get a little closer. He says, this name, Josephan, the year 953. Important Jewish historiographic book written here. Was written in this place. So I'm trying to see where he said 950. Where did he want to say that was? Because I don't see any arrows. But he said important Jewish historiographic book written here, which I imagine was, I think he's still talking about Sicily, this area here. I'm not sure about that. Anyway, that's the best I could do today. This is Baruch Fleischman. We're at the Tikkun Elevator Call-Out.